Greetings, friends. Welcome to my little studio apartment in Fall Branch, Tennessee. It's an Airbnb hosted by an adorable older couple, very sweet people, very welcoming and good host. I thought I was just renting a room, but as you can see, I've got two couches, a television, and kind of the bedroom back there, so I consider it a studio. The bathroom is just out the door, down the hall, with a washer and a dryer in it. So I scored big. And this whole thing was less than $50 a night. She also wanted to provide a muffin for me in the morning. I said, no, thank you. I'm on a strict carnivore diet, very low carb. Although I did have a little bit of carbs on the road today. I swerved into an Arby's and got 4 for $10 classic roast beef sandwiches. Ate 2 of them whole and just ate the meat off too. So I got 2 buns out in the car I need to throw away. That has kind of spiked my blood glucose, so I'm waiting another hour to do my report to Virta Health for the day. But I'm fine. I've been extremely low carb ever since I arrived in Arkansas a week ago yesterday. So I'm sure my weight is down. I need to look around here and see if there's a scale. I haven't had a scale the whole week in Arkansas. But I did kind of have one at the gym, but it wasn't 0. So I don't want to take that as the gospel. But I do want to tell you about today's trip. I was in western Tennessee this morning, somewhere between Memphis and Nashville, and about 30 miles northeast of where I got off of 40, which I believe was the town called Jackson, Tennessee. That Airbnb was also very nice. Every time you go to one, you think, oh, this might be the best one I've been in. Then you get to another one, and then you say, well, these people are just as nice or nicer than anybody I've been with, and this might be the best one. So it's kind of hard to pick a best Airbnb because they're all very unique. They all have their own special characteristics, and the hosts are all very unique. I mean, you're staying in people's homes. Which reminds me, I drove through Knoxville today, and I saw the big ball on the I guess an elevator. It was built for the World's Fair in 1982. And I remember taking a family trip to the World's Fair in 1982. So I texted my parents, or my father. I guess he reads it to mom. She doesn't really text. But dad's a little more technologically advanced. But as I went through Knoxville, I said, oh, I just passed the big ball for the World's Fair. And I remember us coming here to visit the World's Fair in 1982. And we stayed in a family home. I said we were kind of Airbnb-ing before it was popular. And I think because there were so many people going into Knoxville, this tag on this shirt has started to bother me. I'll talk about this shirt in a minute. But I guess because Knoxville didn't have enough hotels, people started posting on other sites. And I don't know how mom found it. I don't even know if Craigslist existed in 1982, but she found a way. And I think her mother traveled with us, if I remember correctly. And I remember sitting on a rocking chair on a porch in Knoxville, thinking, oh, well, we're in somebody else's home, and this is all kind of nice and cozy. We had a good time. We went to the fair. We went up. I'm sure there was an elevator up to that ball. It's not anywhere near as tall as the one in Dallas at Reunion Tower, but it is symbolic. It seems like every World's Fair, they build something that stays in the city to remind people of that World's Fair decades later. And here, this is 40 years later. It was probably in the summer of 82 because we were either out of school or they took us out of school. But that was my memory for the day. I ran into 3 traffic stalls today on the 400 miles. I think the longest was about 25 minutes. And, by the time you get through all that and you get up to where it starts clearing up, you expect to see a wreck or something like that, and there's nothing there. The very first one, which was only about 5 minutes, there was a trooper, 2 civilian volunteer firefighter cars, and an ambulance with a passenger vehicle. So I don't know I don't think it was a wreck. I only saw 1 vehicle. There were no tow trucks, no fire engines. But that did slow down the traffic on the interstate for about 5 minutes. And then where 75 comes up from Chattanooga, there was about a 25-minute delay. And it didn't stop at the merge. It went on another 10 minutes. But like I said, when I got there, nothing. They either got it cleared up or it freed up. But I'm kind of glad I bought the new tires in Fort Worth because they came in handy today because I thought I'd cleared it. There was a big gap. So I started speeding up, and all of a sudden, everybody stopped again, so I had to like slam on the brakes. And I thought maybe having those new tires made my stopping distance a little bit shorter, which worked well because I didn't hit anything and nobody hit me. And my load did not shift and come push me through the windshield. So I packed good. That's good. All I had on top was some garment bags. They didn't hit me or anything, but they're now kind of like on the front of the back boxes between the headrest and the boxes. So thank goodness I have good brakes, I have good tires, and I pay attention 99% of the time. That I saw the other car stopped ahead of me, and I had to really clamp down on the brakes. I think that's the only time I've had to slam on brakes on this 3,000 plus mile trip. So that was today. I didn't see any bald eagles. That was yesterday. That was a nice, pleasant surprise. Today, the beautiful scenery though. The leaves are changing here. They were just starting in Arkansas. I was thinking the elevation there was higher, and I mean, I've basically come straight west, so I haven't really changed longitude a whole lot. I might be going a little bit northeast, but there was significant color on the trees. Apparently like the first week or two of color change. It'll be much better a week or two down the road, but it was enough to really make it a nice drive. Oh, and the shirt. I took a picture with this shirt at Buc-ee's, and somebody said, "Oh, is that a Buc-ee's tie-dye shirt?" And I said, "No. I think I bought it in North Carolina or South Carolina. I think North Carolina. I think Calabash. I went in a secondhand store there, and they had T-shirts on clearance for like $1, or one of them had them for 50 cents. That was on the way to Sunset Beach. I stopped at several because I've been trying to buy some what I call throwaway clothes so I can take on the cruise next week. And if somebody likes it, says, "Hey, I like your shirt," I can just leave it with the local or donate it to a charity down there or something. Anyway, clothes I'm not attached to, and I don't care if I bring them home or not. So hopefully I'll take more down, get rid of some. Maybe I'll buy some souvenir-y type shirts. But I was really looking for tank tops, so I was buying T-shirts that if I cut off the sleeves, I could use them as if I couldn't find any tank tops that worked. But then in Myrtle Beach, I found a $5 store that sold everything for $5. So I got 4 tank tops there. Of course, they all say Myrtle Beach on them. 2 are kind of a bright orange. I think I wore one in a video already. And the other 2 are kind of a light blue. I got 4 there. I got 2 at Ocean Isle, North Carolina, which is where I took the first Chillin with Chip, Where's Chip Chillin video. And then I picked up a couple at a thrift store. So I bought 3 or 4 of these T-shirts, and I have them in the bag to wear on this trip because I'm thinking they're not exactly my style, but they're a little bit louder. This one, with all the tie-dye around my belly, kind of makes it look skinny, so I might just keep this one. Not skinny, thinner. Thinner than but I also was very strict on my carnivore way of eating last week, so I'm sure I lost some weight. My belt is a little bit tighter than it had been when I got to Arkansas, so I'm waiting eagerly to get to the scale tomorrow night and see, or maybe Tuesday morning. I don't like to weigh at night, you're always heavier. But Tuesday morning when I step on the scale at my parents' house, which is the scale that reports to my coach and doctor that monitor the app, I hope I will see a few pounds at least lost for being very low carb and eating the same thing over and over and over and over all week at the condo or villa, whatever you want to call it. Bacon with a cheese omelet for breakfast, and then a smoked sausage with some mayonnaise for dinner. Anyway, that was my trip today, about 400 miles, just under 400 miles, like 389 if I went straight. But of course, I got off to stop at Buc-ee's, stop at Sam's Club, fill up with gas. I got enough gas. Well, I filled up the tank in Knoxville at the Sam's Club. That would technically get me home. I may stop again at the one in Bristol, which is about 20 miles north of here in Bristol, Virginia. That's a Bristol, Tennessee, and a Bristol, Virginia. It's one of those cities that overlaps a state line. But it's a lot more, or maybe Troutville. I'm going to look at on Gas Buddy and see what Troutville is. It's a little bit north of Roanoke. It's usually cheaper there than it is at my parents' house. Then on Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days, I think Wednesday night, I'm heading to Fredericksburg. It's generally cheaper in Fredericksburg too, so I need enough to get another 60 miles past my parents' house where I can get more cheap gas. And then we're heading off to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Unfortunately, we're going to have to drive because Amtrak canceled my train last week. But anyway, got all that worked out too. This is getting longer than usual, so that's my story of the day. It's a barbecue, something. I think that stands for Ocracoke Island, North Myrtle Beach, and Sunset Beach. They must have 3 stores. So I did buy it somewhere in that range. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Love you. God bless. I'll be back on the road tomorrow. Probably get a check-in in at some point in time. This will actually go live Monday morning, but it's a recap of Sunday. God bless. Bye bye.